Hello everyone. On this video session, I am going to explain the remaining topics of directing, that is barriers to the communication and measures to improve a communication effectively. Let us understand these two topics in depth. Barriers to the communication. Barriers are nothing but the problems or noise for communicating from one person to the another person. In that first one, semantic barriers. Let us understand what do you mean by semantic barriers. The semantic barriers is a branch of linguistic dealing with the meaning of words and sentences. So these barriers will arise while communicating from one person to another person. The language problem, the sentences you cannot make up properly, so that time it will create a problem for understanding what you want to say to the other person. Next one, organizational barrier. A factors relating to organization structure, authority relationships, rules and regulations. These may affect for the communication effectively. Sometimes these organizational structure and the authority saying as the top management, these kinds of the rules and regulations which is framed by the top management, this will affect for the organization to flow the communication in a smooth manner. Next one, psychological barrier. The emotional or psychological factors acts as a barriers to the communication. Sometimes the problems will arise on the basis of the emotions and psychological condition of the person. So that time also you cannot communicate freely with the other person. Next one, personal barrier. The personal factors of both sender and receiver may exert influence on effective communication. So, a personal barrier like a personal factors of both the side, that is sender and the receiver. You may take the example as attitude. A negative attitude person, why should I speak with or why should I communicate with that person? This kind of ego and attitude will make a communication not effectively. So these are some personal barriers which will create a problem for communication to be effectively. Let us understand what are the semantic barriers. First one, badly expressed message. Sometimes due to low vocabulary or due to half knowledge, the person will express the message that will be taken by the subordinates in a different meaning. So sometimes intended meaning may not be conveyed by the manager to his subordinates. These badly expressed message may be on an account of inadequate vocabulary, usage of the wrong words, omission of needed words. So these are circumstances which I already explained due to a low vocabulary and don't know what kind of the words should be suitable to use while delivering the message. So if you don't use the proper word, it will create a bad message. Next one, faulty translation. Translation is nothing but transferring from one language to another language. Sometimes the communication originally drafted in one language, that is English, need to translate to the language understandable to the workers. It may be Hindi or it may be other language of their mother tongue. If the translator is not proficient with both the languages, mistakes may creep in, causing different meaning to the communication. So, what will happen if the person one who translating the information or message, if the person is totally unaware of both the languages, so it will create a problem for understanding that message to the other person, or translating the same message to the other person will be faulty translation due to the low understanding level of the languages. So, for that reason, once you are perfect in a particular language, then only you can translate. Otherwise, you can say you cannot. You can say that I don't know the message whatever they delivered. So, faulty translations will create a communication non-effective. Next one, technical jargon. It is usually found that specialists use a technical jargon while explaining to person who are not specialists in concerned field. Therefore, they may not understand the actual meaning of many such words. So, these kinds of the semantic barriers will arise when the person, the one who is delivering the message, you can call them as a sender or you can call him or her as a speaker. If the speaker is using a highly technical jargon words, that time it will create a problem to the subordinates, that whatever they use the word, they don't know the meaning exactly. So that time it will create a communication non-effective. So to bring a effective communication, you must use a specialist word, but simple words should be used while communicating with a unskilled and semi-skilled workers. Next one, body language and gestures decoding. Every movement of body communicates some meaning. The body movement and gestures of communicator matters so much in conveying the message. So, a body language is also a one kind of a oral language which you can understand the other person without spoken. So what will happen here? Suppose there is no synchronization between what you are speaking and what gesture you are showing or body language. By the words you are saying it is not okay, but the action you are showing in from the hand it is okay. A okay body language you are using, but here there is no synchronization between the spoken words and the language, the body language which you are using or which you are indicating to the subordinates. So immediately this will create a problems in the organization for effective communication. Next, organizational barrier, in that organizational policy. If the organization policy explicit or implicit, let me explain what do you mean by explicit and implicit. Explicit, the open organizational policy where there is no hidden, and implicit is totally opposite of explicit where everything is in hidden. Each and every organization policies are having a hidden rules and regulations, which is you can say closed ended rules and regulations, is not supportive to free flow of communication. It may hamper a effectiveness of communication. For example, in the organization with highly centralized pattern, people may not encourage to have a free communication. So, as I explained, suppose if you want to take a permission for one manager to speak with a different department manager or functional level manager, this will create a problem for free flow of communication. So these kinds of centralized organization policies will create a problem for free flow of communication, which is discourage the employees in the organization. Next one, rules and regulations. Rigid rules and cumbersome procedures may be a hurdle to communication. Similarly, communication through prescribed channel may result in delays. So, rules and regulations, if the rules and regulations are very restricted, that is cumbersome, having a too many procedures for a simple rules or simple communication. So this kinds of the rules and regulations will create a communication for the not flow in free manner. So these barriers will create a problem for effective communication. So rules and regulations of the organization must be simple in manner where everybody can cross the rules and regulations. Next one, status. So, a status of the superior may create a psychological distance between him and his subordinates. Suppose the manager is very conscious about his status or position, the subordinates will hesitate to express their feelings freely. So that time it will create a problems in the organization to speak freely with the with the superiors. Next one, complexity in organizational structure. In an organization where there are number of manager levels, communication gets delayed and destroyed as number of the filters points are more. Suppose a supervisor has to speak with a director of the company, he has to cross all the organization structures levels. That is, he can communicate with the next superior, that is his manager. The manager has to communicate with managing director. The managing director has to deliver the message given by the supervisor to the particular director of the company. So here, if the information is totally, I can say, filtering in every levels of the organization structure, it will take more time to deliver the message, and also it will create a problem for taking a decision spontaneously. So you cannot go with a taking the decision immediately in the organization. It will take more time. So this is also create a problem for the effective communication. So this completes the barriers to the communication. Let us understand what are measures to improve a communication effectiveness. First one, clarify the ideas before communication. The problem to be communicated to the subordinates should be clear in all its perspective to the executive himself. The entire problem should be studied in depth, analyzed, and stated in such a manner that is clear conveyed to subordinates. So here you must be very conscious about how to deal a problem in the organization, and the subordinate should not be in a doubtful. So you must consult or you must clarify the ideas before communicating. You have to communicate the each and every ideas in a proper manner. So you must collect the idea from the subordinates. And also you must study the problem in depth and should analyze it what is exact reason for the problem and stated whatever the facts of the problem. Later you can come for the conclusion. Next one, communicate according to the needs of receiver. So here the level of understanding of receiver should be crystal clear to the communicator. Manager should adjust his communication according to the education and understanding levels of subordinates. So here you must communicate with your subordinates how much they wanted from your side, so that you can communicate with them rather than communicating each and every aspect of the problem. So communicate according to the needs of the receiver and according to their education and the understanding level. You must communicate with the subordinates. Next one, consult others before communicating. So this is nothing but before actual communicating the message, it is better to involve the others, only for the one reason that you can take a suggestion from that particular person to whom you will consult. So they can give you a number of the suggestions or ideas to improve your communication for better understanding. So this will help to gain the acceptance from the subordinates. And also you can make a subordinates to be participate in your decision making, so that will very useful to get a cooperation from the subordinates for whatever you are communicating them. Next one, convey things to help and value to listeners. While conveying the message to the others, it is better to know the interest and need of the people with whom you are communicating. If the message relates directly or indirectly to such interest and needs, it certainly evolves a response from the communicatee. So, convey the things whatever helps and value to the listeners. So, you should not goes on elaborating the concept. Only how much it will helpful for them and how much it is value for the listeners, that much you can communicate with the communicatee. Next one, ensure proper feedback. The communicator may ensure the success of communication by asking the questions regarding the message conveyed. So, once the receiver communicate may also be encouraged to respond to the communication. This you can understand they had been understood the concept. So, for that reason you need to ask a questions to them, and also you can improve the feedback. So if they had given any feedback about the communication, you have to take it back. So you have to improve the each and every aspect of your communication for the next level or next time. Next one, communicate for present as well as future. So, a communicator or the speaker must communicate present as well as the future, that whatever the activities are required to achieve the goals in future, that you can speak for the orientation of the present itself. So keeping the present, you must create a gap, you must create a fill the gap between the present and the future. Follow up the communication, they should be regular follow up and review the instructions given to the subordinates. Such follow up measures helps to removing hindrance or hurdles, if any, in implementing the instructions. So whatever you communicated, that you must go with the follow up. then only they will be having a fear that whatever the communication happens between supervisors and the subordinates, that they will keep in their mind, and also they will follow the instruction. If there is no follow up, the communication will be not too much effective. Next one, to improve or the measures to improve your communication effectiveness, you must be a good listener. So manager should be a good listener, should have a patience and attentive in the while listening the problems from the subordinates. So I can say the listening, or I can say if the listening each and every aspect or each and every problem, the half of the problems will be solved there itself. So you must, being as a speaker or the communicator, you must have a patience to listen and attentive while somebody is giving a information or message to you. Later you can go for the conclusion once you understood each and every problems of the subordinates. So this completes the measures to improve a communication effectively, as well as I completed the directing chapter. So if you have any doubts, please go through the videos whatever I uploaded, and also if you have any doubts, you can reach me by the WhatsApp. Thank you.